Amidst a season-long losing streak, Maryland softball ends its homestand and looks to right the ship against a UMES team that's feeling good for its lone Power 5 opponent this season. Coming to you live from College Park, it's the University of Maryland Eastern Shore Hawks and the Maryland Terrapins. Midweek Big Ten softball only on Big Ten Plus. Well, happy Tuesday from the Maryland Softball Stadium. I'm Ryan Martin alongside Ben Geffner and BG. This is a Maryland UMES head coach being Aaron Robinson. Getting a first strikeout as well for Aubrey Worst. She gets Clark to go around. Stretch and a tough weekend for Maryland. Terps losers of 10 straight, including the sweep here at home to Iowa just a few days ago. Hobley pulls back the bunt and swings through. Two batters, two strikeouts for the freshman Aubrey Worst with two gone. Looks to retire the side. And gets it. 3 straight strikeouts for Aubrey Worst in the top of the first. UMES goes down in order. The freshman faces the minimum. Now the Terps look to plate some runs.
Models for the younger group of the Maryland players, and she's really led that charge so far this season.
3-pitch strikeout, though, to Maisie McFarland, and the second-year Utah State transfer is all 39 games so far this season. I already mentioned Maisie McFarland doing so as well, and we'll see Sam Bean in a little bit. Lewis cracks this one into center field. Again, it's Holt who camps under it. And both UMES and Maryland face the minimum in the first. All 3 of the strikeout.
Yeah, so much composure, so much patience in the circle. Just looking at her, wouldn't think she's a freshman in that circle, showing a lot of composure here early, and we see it again there.
4 batters, 4. Worst looks in, and it's another strikeout. Make it 6 in a row to start this game for Aubrey Worst. What can't she do right now? This here in collegiate softball, a ball and 2 strikes again. And just getting a piece of it. Finally put into fair play. Betson has it and throws it over to Lewis. A simple 5-3, and Aubrey Worst might not get up via the strikeout, but she adds 2 more to her line. And
she's been so effective in this cleanup spot this season. Of course, just mentioned the Texas native, but another Terp that's just been loyal, 3 years with the program.
Slaps it on the ground over to Perkins at third base. That one was fast off the bat, rolled all the way back to O'Neill.
Russ in this new role, as has many of the other Terps on both ends.
Bain will crank this one to right center field. On a horse is Holt. That one hit off the back of the wall, though. Runyon will go over, and they're going to say that this one was off the scoreboard and left the park. It's a home run for Sam Bean, and Maryland takes a 2-0 lead. That one barely got out, but the Terps still take its first advantage.
That one skied by Sam Bean, hits the Fear the Turtle logo there on the score.
For Sam Bean, her 6th homer on the season, second best for Maryland. The catcher puts the Terps ahead.
And after that loss this past weekend versus Iowa, head coach Lauren Karn talked about the importance of starting, off on the right foot offensively. She said, we're starting to lose earlier into games, but getting the scoring started. Maryland, a different trend we've seen so far this season, and good for the Terps to get on board first.
Faced the minimum across 2 innings, but Shearer is into right field, and this one will be cracked into center field. JC Holt over to it, and she'll be able to make the catch here for the first out in the bottom of the second.
Nice catch made by Holt, still nonetheless some decent contact.
That Sydney Lewis has. She's got team-leading 8 home runs this season. She had one a little bit ago as Benson puts us in the air to left field. Manzo has it and pulls down the second out of the inning. So there's a power from Lewis with Cornwell, and then Bailey Murphy on deck. Cornwell squares down the bunt again. This one will stay in play. Falsetti throws over to first base in time with Gunter at first. And now the bottom of the second inning is all set. Maryland plates 2 in the bottom of the second. That home run puts Maryland ahead. And Gunter looks to be the first Hawk to get aboard, or the second to make contact. And she'll do so right here into right field. Julia Shearer moves towards the foul line and pulls down a quiet first out in the third. Talked about the walk numbers for Worst. She'll look to avoid it here on the full count and gets a swing through by Ojeda. Deserved throw around the diamond for the 6th time today with this Maryland defense, all backing the average on the right side of your screen for Holtz. The 0-2. Cracked that to Benson at third base. Throws it over to Lewis again, and that's how this inning will end for the 2nd consecutive time. Aubrey Worst wheeling and dealing from the middle circle for Maryland, who still holds a 2-0 lead over 9 spot. Full count to the sophomore. And shows the patience. Delivers the first walk in this game. Bailey Murphy heads down to first base with the leadoff walk.
Karn spoke pretty candidly about Murphy. She said, you know, the stars are really aligning for her, moving her down.
And did the same thing, so she came back for her 6th year as well, again, after missing all of her graduate year due to injury. So a couple of experienced veterans for Maryland. McFarland sends this one into left field. Manzo comes in on it for the first out in the bottom of the 3rd.
And Lauren Karn preaches.
Maryland softball stadium. They got to do something about this wind, though. That's what they got to fix. Woods cracks this one to center field. Holt will look up, and this one's off the bottom of the wall. Murphy over to 3rd base, and Woods up to 2nd. It's a stand-up double with one gone in the bottom of the 3rd. Sammy Woods makes it 2-runner and RBI as well. Played a few more, and she'll do so right here in the right center of field. Lewis will send this one. It's going to be Murphy who easily comes home. Woods is upstanding. A 2-run single for Sydney Lewis. She just keeps adding on to it. Give her a team-high 29 RBI now.
A great job finding the pocket.
Now at her defensive position at first base, Maryland plays 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd. This one was 2 runs scored off the bat.
We talked about the power, the ability to go deep, not always a home run, but nearly reaches the wall on that one and scores 2 once again.
2 runners on. This one's cracked back over to O'Neill. Over to 3rd base. And it's going to be the force out to Sydney Lewis. But Sam looks in now. Cracks this one through the middle for a base hit. Onion gets the wave around 3rd base, and so will Sam Bean. Shearer into 2nd base. There's going to be no throw home. Make it 2 more runs scored for the Terps, up to a 6-0 advantage as Shearer, again, we just mentioned trying to find her stride of the plate. She'll do so there to score 2.
The two-way play for Maryland, kind of a long time coming. They've been stalled the past couple of Big Ten series. You're seeing it all come out here in the non-con.
This one's off the glove of the 2nd baseman, Clark Calvin. The throw over to 2nd base, and Benson is safe by avoiding the tag. The freshman uses a swim move, scores another run on the UMES error. Shearer goes home. It's a 7-0 Terps advantage.
That was Shearer again with Benson, puts another runner in scoring position.
So Benson just skied this one up into the air, and you can take a look. Calvin just had to go off for a glove right into the fading Tuesday night sun from College Park. And then how about the swim move there as well for Benson to get out of the way. See if she swings away here. Again, you see the 184 average so far for the left fielder Cornwell. 0-2. Chop that to left. Does this one have the room? It does. Gets under the glove of Manzo, and it's going to be Benson who comes around to score. Cornwell takes a turn around 2nd, right in front of the left fielder Manzo. She can't creep up to it. The Terps up now 8-0.
Just another mistimed play by the outfield there for the Hawks.
Linganore High School graduate, right down the road. Send this one into left field in front of Manzo. Easy wave around 3rd for Cornwell. The throw home, it'll be just ahead, and it's going to be a big turn for Wilson and a big RBI for the freshman.
A textbook ace bag, and it comes into fruition there with the score to make it 9-0 Terps.
So even with the speed of Cornwell, that was a great throw home for Manzo. Made that play close, but still Maryland
fitting into this order, and a great job at the plate there. The resiliency we've seen through this entire order.
Double for Wilson, and then a strikeout to Maisie McFarland, but the damage done for Maryland has to already kind of be thinking about that, Ben, if they don't want to have this game called early.
Yeah, no doubt. And if you're Aaron Robinson, just making sure the offense stays true right there. A great job by Lewis making the play at first, though.
You hear that coin noise? It's for a 7th. 2-2 count. To UMES's shortstop. She'll swing through it. Make it 8 strikeouts for Aubrey Wurst. She's done that motion a lot, and we've seen that ball get thrown around the diamond often for the Terps.
It's deja job here by Perkins, staying resilient, the patience at the plate, not going for any of the pitches that a lot of her counterparts have.
And first batter aboard, finally, for the Hawks. It comes with 2 gone on the top of the 4th.
Innings once in the last month.
3-0, make it a 4-pitch walk for Aubrey Wurst. So now 2 runners on. We can correct it as well. Jersey number was switched, but it is Lola Meyer for UMES off of 2nd base. And at 2nd, Manzo at 1st, and Meyer at the dish. The 1-2. Cracked that over to 2nd base. Runyon picks it up and tosses it over to Lewis at 1st. Wurst gets a couple Hawks on base, but doesn't avoid any damage as Maryland has a comfortable 9-0 lead entering. Ball in 2 strikes, right back into the glove, and somehow it's Richards who makes the catch. We weren't even able to introduce a new pitcher before she makes a highlight reel play against Sammy Woods. College transfer now into the circle for the Hawks. Induces a first pitch out, and then a first out to Woods, but then can't get the ground out for another substitute coming to the game for the Terps. How about that hit that we see right there for Gracelyn Solars, the junior.
An easy one there from Solars to reach.
Sophomore who will be next up. Borovac into left field. Again, it's just in front of Manzo. We'll see this one trickle after becoming a fair ball into foul territory. The throw over to third base, and safe is the call there on the diving slide from Gracelyn Solars. Solars comes into the game. More Grace Carrington. Terps up 9-zip. Carrington sends this one to left field again. Too far out for Malzo. Incoming to score is Solars. Are getting the turnaround as well is Borovac. 2-run double right off the bench for Grace Carrington.
Terps are breaking this one open.
UMES will need this to make it, turn it into at least a 7-run game in the top of the 5th to keep it going, or else it'll be a run roll. Over to second base, and Calvin can't get to it, so it's going to be a single for Shear. Going from second to home is Carrington. Another RBI with 1 gone in the 4th. Maryland plates a third in this inning and makes it a 12-0 lead. And batting 7th today. She'll crack this one up the middle for a base hit. Shearer quickly advances to second, and Benson over to first on the second pitch that she sees. Terps just can't keep themselves off the base paths in this 4th inning.
Here by the Maryland underclassmen.
Another hit. Cornwell gives it a fist bump right after that one. No play at the plate for Shearer. That ball will get away from the catcher there, being Paige. For you, if you're UMES, Ben, you take a run if you can turn a double play or ground ball, just as this happens. I said it right when it was going on. Wilson will ground out there, but Shearer comes home to score for a 13th Maryland run.
Yeah, didn't elect to go.
7 wins, so 2 very different games, though, between that Big Ten clash and here against UMES. Over to the shortstop, and Abela. She throws over to first base. Abelee, I should say. Can't get Penta there in time. 1 more run score, now 14-0 as Benson comes home. Gray, lead on the changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 gone in the 4th inning. And Gray shoots this one to left field. A look up, and it's off the bottom of the wall. Make her 2 for 2 in her collegiate career so far. Cornwell scores easily. Penta advances up to third, and RBI 2-out double for Megan Gray. And maybe I shouldn't have spoke too early. That's of the 4th inning here. Paris Richards looks to just get out of it, and she could do so right here. Over to the shortstop, Abelee. She throws over to first, and barely in time. This one will continue on as Gracelyn Solars comes up for a 2nd time, and now on base. Scores a 16th run for Maryland as Penta comes home.
Those cross-field throws have proven so difficult for the Hawks, and with the Terps' speed.
Taylor Borovac up for a 2nd time, and will shoot this one into the outfield. Gray comes home to score from third. Throw over to third base, and Solars is in safely, and advancing to second base on the first pitch she sees is Taylor Borovac. A never-ending 4th inning. Maryland plated 7 in the 3rd. You're like, okay, how can they follow up that? Well, they have now a school. Her 3-0 pitch will be grounded over to the third baseman. Diving stop made there by Perkins. Tap down. No throw over to first base. Runners on the corners now after an 18th run scores.
Yeah, just these errors in the infield here.
Maryland's all-time record is for most runs scored in a game.
I guess it's in the 20s, right?
A little bit higher, as this one will get to a 19th run for the Terps. An RBI single for Julia Shearer. 19. You said 20 runs?
I'll guess about wonders for Maryland.
Benson shoots this into left field, where Manzo comes up with it. No real test for Grace Carrington at third base. So the sophomore pumps the brakes on, runner everywhere. Bases loaded for Caitlin Cornwell now. And you talked about that schedule, Fox.
No doubt, and that Nebraska team is really, really good going on the road to end it.
And J.C. Holt brings down the line out in center field. So after a 10-run 4th inning, Maryland takes a 19-0 lead. Not to be a long comeback for UMES to try to keep this 24. A sat down for the Terps. This is Aubrey worst game to finish for the freshman. Stickers will You walked on 4 pitches.
That's worse, just her 3rd walk of the game so far. Yeah, it seemed like an eternity ago.
There's the first hit for UMES. It comes via Emily Gunther in the top of the 5th inning. 2 runners on now for UMES, breaking up the no-hitter. We can say it now, a no-hitter going for Aubrey Wurst. Gets breakers off of second now for Dene Ojeda. No balls and 1 strike to her. She squares down the bunt. It's a nice one down the 3rd base line. Bean over to it. Maybe some confusion between the 6th-year Sam Bean and the pitcher in Ojeda. Stands at first for J.C. Holt. Change up over to 3rd base. And Benson gets the force out at home. So runners still everywhere with now 1 out in the 5th inning. But how about the heads-up play by the freshman Benson to go home with it?
Yeah, a nice play.
Wow, since we called the strikeout in her favor, though. Hasn't been one since the 4th inning. But when Maryland plates 10 runs in the bottom of the 4th in real live time, now but half an hour ago. But gets the strikeout right there for a career high tying.
To make it 9 in the game in April as well before the season ends.
1 pitch from doing it, and she does. A career high tying 9th strikeout now for Aubrey Wurst as far as a sensational shutout day for the freshman pitcher. A great day for the Maryland Bats as well as the Terps right the ship, drop a 10-game losing streak, win this one 19-0, but in due part for Aubrey Wurst.
Yeah, Wurst just a masterclass in the circle. Ties her career high in strikeouts, not before 19 Maryland runs, and keeps the shutout alive. A 19-0 win for the Terps.
Wurst, you see her right there, pitched all 5 innings, gave up just 2 hits, and walked 3 with those strikeouts. Her and this Terrapins team will be in action at Delaware in less than 24 hours time. Then you got that Penn State series right on deck.
Then we talked about the Nebraska series finale series. They're battle tested. They've played games against ranked teams, but another tall test is Nebraska to end the season on a high note perhaps.